So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight I have to warn you, there are going to be sexual spoilers in this podcast. The singer of "Son of a Preacher Man," one of the most desirous female to male songs of all time, was made big by a closet lesbian. Doesn't diminish her talent, doesn't diminish her life. But when Dusty Springfield, when it came out, she was a lesbian. It was kind of not a shock, but she was also kind of married to Carol Pope, our great singer from Canada, from a rough trade. So we're not going to talk about her sexuality, but we're going to talk about what is considered, again, one of her best songs ever. Now, "Son of a Preacher Man" is a song written, composed by American songwriters John Hurley and Ronnie Wilkins, and recorded by Dusty in September '68 for the key album Dusty in Memphis. Springfield's version was produced by Jerry Wexler, Tom Dowd, and R.F. Martin for her first album for the Atlantic Records label. The single, released in late '66 and credited as "Son of a Preacher Man," hyphenated, on the UK, US and other releases, became an international hit, reaching number 9 in the UK and number 10 in Billboard Hot 100 in January '69. Of course, the song is timeless. The album Dusty in Memphis was released in stereo, though its singles were remixed and released in mono. "Son of the Preacher Man" was Springfield's last top 20 hit until 1987, when her collaboration with UK synth-pop duo the Pet Shop Boys yielded a huge hit, "What Have I Done to Deserve This?" Now, this is almost 20 years later. Now, "Son of a Preacher Man" found a new audience when it was included on the soundtrack of Quentin Tarantino's '94 film Pulp Fiction. A re-release of the single reached number 1 in Iceland in 1995. Now, producer, again, Wexler, Martin, Barry, and Dowd. Now, the previous single, "Don't Forget About Me," and Willie and Laura Mae Jones, it was out in '69, but this was kind of a combination. Released in November 8, '68, but recorded in September '68. In '68, Hurley and Wilkins, who originally had a hit with "Love of the Common People," wrote the song with Aretha Franklin in mind, according to a 2009 interview with Wilkins. Atlantic Records producer and co-owner Jerry Wexler, who was recording Dusty's first Atlantic album in Memphis at the time, liked the song and suggested to Springfield for the Dusty in Memphis album. Following the top 10 single release, the song was recorded in '69 by Franklin for "This Girl's in Love with You" album, a completely different version, of course. Franklin Olive version also appeared as the B-side of her hit single "Call Me." Franklin's older sister, Emma, also recorded a song and included on her '69 Brunswick album, "Soul Sister." Cashbox said that Springfield shows a new soul and that the song is brimful of the special Southern combo sound and a vocal strongly influenced by Aretha. The Writers of Rolling Stone magazine placed Springfield's recording at number 77 among the best 100 singles of the last 25 years in '87, that the rock and roll era. The record was placed at number 43 on the NME Express in 2002, and in 2004 the song was on the Rolling Stone list of the 500 greatest songs of all time. In '94, the song was featured in a scene to film Pulp Fiction. "Son of the Preacher Man" helped to sell more than 2 million units of the film soundtrack, and to help it reach number 6 in the charts, according to SoundScan. Tarantino has been quoted on a collector's edition DVD of the Pulp Fiction as saying that he probably would have not have filmed the scene in which the song is featured had he been not able to use it. Now, the lyrics of this song, again, very, very sexual, very, very romantic. And "Son of a Preacher Man," I'm going to give you the lyrics, and you can interpret what you want. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. It really, really stands out. Dusty, at the time, we had no indication of what her romantic leanings were. So let's look at some of the lyrics. Say, "Billy Ray was the preacher's son, and when his daddy would visit, he'd come around. When he gathered around and started talking, that's when Billy would take me walking. Out through the backyard we go walking. Then he'd look into my eyes. Lord knows, to my surprise, the only one who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. Yes, he was. Oh, yes, he was. Being good isn't always easy, no matter how hard I try. When he started sweet talking to me, he'd come and tell me everything's all right. He'd kiss and tell me everything is all right. Can I get away again tonight? The only one who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. How will I remember the look that was in his eyes? stealing kisses from me on the sly, taking time to make time, tell me that he's all mine, learning from each other, knowing, looking to see how much we've grown, and the only one could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. So it was just a reprise. So you can take it as you can. Was you just kissing, or was some interesting combination of loving going on? We don't know, but very romantic. Now, it did really well in the charts. We'll look at the major ones. Number 6 in Australia, number 10 in Austria, number 23 in Belgium, only 11 in Canada, number 4 in Holland, in their top 100, and Dutch top 40, number 6. French, 115. German media control, hate that term, 38. Irish singles, number 11. Malaysian singles charts, Radio Malaysia, number 2. New Zealand, number 7. Singapore, the only place that went to number 1, the original, Radio Singapore. Swiss singles, top 75, number 3. UK 9 and US 10. And the Icelandic charts, the re-release, number 1 in 95. Certifications, Denmark, platinum, 90,000 sold. Germany, gold, 300,000 units. Italy, gold, 25,000. Spain, platinum, 60,000. United Kingdom, 1,200. Now, the idea of the song, the Aretha Franklin version again is structurally different. Now, we saw Ray Charles crossover with country. We saw Aretha crossover with country. We saw different black artists. There's no surprise like Hootie went country, and the lead singer Hootie the Blowfish. But the idea, ladies and gentlemen, we're hearing rumors when Carol Pope was rough trade, she was having a torrid affair or with a major star. We knew it wasn't a man, so we were trying to figure out. But by the time 87 came along, I can't remember officially when she came out, or it only came out she was gay after she died. So, I mean, it's we're going to talk a little bit about this in a second, because I want to be as accurate as possible, because I don't want to out somebody if they didn't out themselves, in a proper way. The career was tremendous. Now, a recurring thing amongst journalists and Springfield biographers is she had two personalities. Shy, quiet Mary O'Brien, the puppet face she created as Dusty Springfield. Of course, Mary O'Brien was original singers. Now, Springfield at the time was never reported to be in a heterosexual relationship. It meant the issue of her sexual orientation was raised frequently during her life. From the mid-60s to the early 70s, she allegedly lived in a domestic partnership with fellow singer Norma Tanaga. In September 70, Springfield told Ray Connolly of the Evening Standard, "Many other people say I'm bent, and I've heard so many times I almost learned to accept it. I know I'm perfectly as capable of being swayed by a girl as by a boy. More and more people feel that way, and I don't see why I shouldn't." Now, by her standards in 1970 was a bold statement. Now, in the 70s and 80s, she became involved in several romantic relationships with women in Canada and the States that were not kept secret from the gay and lesbian community. From 72 and 78, she had an off-and-on domestic relationship with Faye Harris, a great American photojournalist. Now, in 81, Springfield had a 6-month relationship with Carol Pope of the rock band Rough Trade. During periods of psychological, professional instability, Springfield's involvement in some intimate relationships influenced by addiction resulted in episodes of personal injury. Now, she met an actress, Taylor Bracke, at an AA meeting in 82, and he moved in together in April 83. 7 months later, they exchanged vows at a wedding ceremony, which was not recognized under California law. The pair had a tumultuous relationship, which led to an altercation with both being hospitalized, and the pair separated within 2 years. Unfortunately, in January 94, while recording her album A Very Fine Love in Nashville, she began to feel ill. When she returned to England a few months later, her physicians diagnosed her with breast cancer. She received months of chemotherapy and radiation treatment. The cancer was found in remission, but by mid-96, the cancer had returned, and despite vigorous treatments, she died on March 2nd, 1999, aged 59, on Hindley-on-Thames, Oxfordshire. Now, inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2 weeks after her death, a friend Elton John helped induct her into the Hall of Fame, declaring, "I'm biased, but I just think she was the greatest white singer there's ever been. Every song she sang, she claimed as her own." And as that half-Canadian just said, I agree with him. And Elton, yes, he's half-Canadian because he's married to a Canadian. So, now, a noted female singer, The British Invasion. She made one of the biggest impressions on the U.S. market, besides to Petula Clark. Cilla Black didn't really do it. She had 18 singles in the Billboard Hot 100 from 64 to 70, including 6 in the top 20. Now, in 2008, the great Shelby Lynn recorded a tribute album featuring 10 of Dusty's songs as well as one original. The album, titled Just a Little Lovin', featured 2 tracks selected from Springfield's debut, 4 from Dusty to Memphis and 4 from her back catalog. Now, Springfield was very popular in Europe, of course, and that was her big stuff. Now, the varies filmography as well. She was a presenter host of several TV musical series, including the great series Dusty, 66-77. It must be Dusty and Decidedly Dusty. Now, obviously, there's not enough. What's a proper term? There's not enough praise that can be given to Dusty Springfield, because it just to die that young and doing so much for the music industry. But the big album, of course, The Girl Called Dusty, then Stay a While, I Only Want to Be With You, Dusty, Ooh, oh, wee, Everything's Coming Up Dusty, You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, that's a heartbreaker. And Where Am I Going, The Look of Love, Dusty, definitely, then Dusty in Memphis. So, ladies and gentlemen, Dusty Springfield, definitely a top 25 female voice of all time. And The Son of a Preacher Man, again, she was herself every moment of her life, and thank God for it, because by that song, boys, it's a sweet, sweet, sweet song. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you're doing here, we're Behind the Tracks. Let us know in a like, comment, subscribe, or share. And if you've never listened to Son of a Preacher Man in quite some time, give it a listen again. It's just that good. Have a good one.